Ciao! During the spring break of 2018, approximately 60 students and 4 faculty traveled from San Diego, stopping at various countries to reach the beautiful Tuscan city of Florence, Italy. We, Group 2, has brought a piece of Firenze back to share with you all, so sit back, relax, and buona visione.
On our first day in Florence, some of the key places we visited were the Piazza di Santa Croce, which is also known as the Temple of the Italian Glories. This is where we would meet most of our days throughout the trip, and also where some of the illustrious Italians were buried, including Michelangelo, Machiavelli, and Galileo. The next place we visited was the Uffizi Gallery, where we had the opportunity to learn more about the history of the famous artworks such as The Birth of Venus, and got the opportunity to see paintings done by famous artists such as Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Caravaggio, and Gentileschi.
Up our day of touring, we visited the Ponte Vecchio, where we got a chance to look around and explore the small shops that were along the bridge. Once our day of touring ended, we were given a time to prepare and get ready for our welcome dinner. This is where we were served a traditional Italian 8-course dinner and got to speak and meet our fellow cohorts.
On our second day in Italy, we visited the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Center for lecture. There, we toured the juvenile jail, which was turned into apartments to host foreign students. We got to learn about different countries' healthcare systems and the way they differ, and then did an activity to compare which country had the best healthcare system. I guess it turns out the United States isn't doing too bad. Then we got to visit the Santa Maria Nuova Public Hospital, which is the oldest hospital that's still active in Florence. It had a lot of religious background, which was one of the differences we saw between their hospitals and United States hospitals, was that there was a church connected to it. It was more colorful, and there was a lot of religious art spread out in the hospital. It had a bit of a more lax environment, and the room temperature was not as controlled as it would be for hospitals here. We got to learn the way doctors shared patient information with nurses was a little different, and it seems as though the HIPAA rules are not as strict as they are in the US.
On day 3, we were able to attend a lecture by Dr. Carlos Morlisi. We learned about the education needed to be a doctor in Italy and a few reasons why the profession is declining. We went to Mayor Children's Hospital. This public hospital treats about 200 children, ages ranging from birth to 18. The hospital treats acute and chronic illnesses and have various specialties. There are schools and teachers for the children who are long-term inpatients. Kids who also stay for an extended amount of time are asked to plant something in the garden to give back to the hospital. They are also responsible for taking care and growing the plant. Later, when they go home, the children are able to take the plants home with them. Other amenities that Mayors provides are libraries, entertainment centers for the waiting rooms, and playgrounds, addition to many more.
On day 4, we had a lecture by an American local clinical psychologist, Dr. Marianne Bellini. We learned about how study abroad students react to being in a new country. She also talked about general anxiety disorder and suicide. During our free time, some of us went to Pisa to see the Leaning Tower, which is a 45-minute train ride from Florence. The rest of us went to Rome to see the Colosseum and the Trevi Fountain, which is an hour-and-a-half train ride from Florence.
On day 5, we began with an interesting and engaging lecture by Dr. Sanna Barada, who is a local expert in addiction in Italy. She really highlighted how important it is to admit you have a problem when talking about addictive behaviors such as eating, drinking, smoking, etc. She also spiked up a conversation of what is slow versus fast food and how Italy and Europe in general differ from the US. Following the lecture, we then met up again later in the afternoon with chefs at In Tavola for our traditional Italian cooking class. The chefs guided us through making a 3-course meal including a potato souffle as an appetizer, spinach ricotta raviolis as an entree, and a panna cotta as dessert.
The pasta here and very nice. First step, guys, I roll all the pasta slice, all numbers. And butter and sage a little bit of sauce. First of all, guys, do you have do you have allergies, do you have allergies, intolerance, or other kind of problems? No. Molto bene.
Madre de Dios. Tú me dices en México cómo se habla.
After we were done cooking, we were all able to sit down and enjoy each other's company while we patiently waited for our meals to come out.
And then like a dungeon.
So on our 6th day, we took a bus to Coverciano, which is right outside the city of Florence. And that is where the Italian national football team's training facility is held. It started off with a presentation from the senior squad's head doctor, Dr. Maria Garcia Rubeni. She talked about the different steps and certifications it takes to become a coach or a referee in any of the leagues in Italian football. She also dove into the schooling required to become a physical therapist for the squad. After that, we had a special guest from the former team doctor, who had been a part of the squad for over 40 years. From there, we got to look around the museum that was inside the facility and take a look at the 4 World Cup titles that Italy won from 1934, 38, 82, and 2006, as well as a history of many iconic moments from Serie A, which is Italian's top flight in football.
This time, well, darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes,
We were also able to walk around to see all the pitches that the teams train on. There must have been 6 to 8 fields, all of which were made out of grass, excluding one of them, which was artificial. The whole complex was massive. The trip ended with a meal made by the national team's head chef. It was a 4-course meal consisting of a salad, a pasta, a chicken dish, and then a dessert. It was all amazing, and I'm sure it was extremely healthy.
On the final day, we took an early bus ride to the neighboring city of Siena. We were lucky enough to avoid the rain the majority of the trip, but it finally caught up with us. Despite the rain, we had an informative tour from a couple of very enthusiastic and passionate tour guides who showed real passion for their city and broke down the rivalry between our home city of Florence. While in Siena, we had the opportunity to see the cathedral and the Piazza del Campo, where the Palio horse race is held within the heart of the city. Following Siena, we traveled to San Gimignano, who boasts the world's best gelato, which was hard to argue with. The city was beautiful had beautiful panoramic views and countless shops and boutiques for the many tourists flooding its streets. Upon our return to Florence, we met as a class for one last farewell dinner, which included an awesome assortment of Italian cuisine and wine, accompanied by cheerful toasts and good spirits.
So for many of us, it was one of our first time traveling to Italy. This experience gave us like a whole new sense of respect for other cultures. After this experience, it made us inspired to learn more and travel to other countries and learn their cultures. It was such a mind-opening experience for all of us, especially with all the new friends we made, some of which we've seen a whole college career but never met until we were overseas.
Perché tu stasera sei perfetta per me.
White to even.